Marriage of Figaro.
Yeah.
One of the very few operas.
Yeah.
Which is up there with a great Shakespeare play in complexity and so on.
Very like a Shakespeare, because it's just about a day in a guy's life. He's trying to get married to this girl, and his boss is trying to stop him because the boss wants to go to bed with his girl. It's a very simple structure in one hand, and then it becomes incredibly complicated. But like a Shakespeare, it's really an exploration of people and how a group of people are together, stuck in a situation, and how they hit off each other.
How different is it directing an opera where you're working through the music than, for instance, doing a Shakespeare play?
It's like nothing else on earth. It's like landing a plane on a very small, short runway. You have very little time, but you have singers who know the music. That's the difference between that and say, the theatre, where people might be learning as they go along. The rhythm of the evening is held by the conductor, but as many ideas as you can have to get poured into this very tight frame. And if it's Mozart, it's extra tight.
Yeah.
And I did try for a bit rehearsing with the singers speaking, but it's much better when they sing.
Yes, and you've got a whirling set and all sorts of exciting things. There was a real heart-in-mouth moment, I suspect, for you on the first night, when your countess, one of the key figures, was taken ill, I think just sort of very, very shortly before the performance.
Kate Valentine, just 24 hours before, she had sung brilliantly at the dress rehearsal, and she got a tickle in her throat. And they are, in that way, sort of like racehorses, these singers. You know, they're either hugely like sumo wrestlers, incredibly powerful, or they're incredibly vulnerable. So,
but you had Liz Lelwyn, who came in. I was told, I don't know if it's true, she hadn't sung this role in English before.
Well, she had never been on that revolve before, and we have a revolving set which takes us through the house, and lots of rooms get made backstage. And in the afternoon, from about 3 o'clock till 5, she very calmly, we just moved the stage and we guided her, but she knew it.
That's a heck of a thing to do.
She had watched rehearsals, she had.
Oh, anyway.
Anyway.
Now, I must ask you about some of the other things. Do you still get stopped? Do you still scare small children who think Aunt Petunia is bearing down on them as you're walking along in the street?
Yes, I had a very cross air hostess who was very cross with me one day and said, "I'm so sorry, I feel cross with you. I feel very protective because I've got a son and you're Aunt Petunia." But no, now I also, if I go through the centre of town, anybody wearing black who looks like they've been up late, they come at me because of True Blood. So I've got a various groups of people who either live in terror or delighted by it.
It's fascinating because Harry Potter has kind of completely coloured and shaped the lives of almost a sort of half generation of people who will never forget those films and those books.
Yes, I mean, I hope they don't mind that ordinary people have actually dared to personify these wonderful creatures that exist in the books, because I always think in a book you have your own vision of the person, but these films have been so strong in relation to the books that I think everybody who's acted in the films are, you know, indelibly associated now with those books.
Must have been a great fun part to play, because it's a sort of it's a kind of caricature, comic role in a way, isn't it?
It is. I was very sympathetic, actually, to the Dursleys, because they set up the story. You know, there has to be a reason why that boy wants to go to Hogwarts, and they were the reason. They were also normal, or seemed normal to themselves, and I think they're a great example of how there is no normality in any household.
Now, full disclosure, I haven't actually been watching True Blood very closely myself, but I gather it's vampire madness, and it's been huge in the States.
It's huge, and unlike in Harry Potter, where I play a muggle, and therefore somebody who has no magical powers, in True Blood I play a witch who takes on the vampires and who has huge powers, and that's been great fun, because America has found this way, Alan Ball and his team, of writing a series that seems like normal people just living in a community, but they're all either shapeshifters or fairies or werewolves or witches or vampires. So it's an incredibly interesting subterranean world that exists in entire normality, and the Americans have got this spot on, and it's huge in America, but it's coming here soon.